Hey, I want to shout you out if you're in chat right now. Thank you guys so much for jumping on tonight, man. It was amazing. I sat down and chat was already like moving. Very opposite of what it's been lately. So I just want to shout you guys out, show you some love. But hey, man, I got some cool stuff I need to share with you guys. It's kind of been going on in my life. Does the audio sound good? Do I still have the best voice on Twitch? Because I gotta be honest. I was talking about how much I love you guys. That's what I was talking about. You should make Fortnite clips on Twitch. Yeah, dude. So I'm really wrestling with that right now, chat. And that kind of breeds into what we're gonna talk about tonight with the podcast. First episode. Let me talk to you guys a little bit about why I'm doing a podcast. Because honestly, it's 2023. It seems like every TikToker who's gotten big in the last 3 years is doing a podcast. But I've been doing it longer than all of them. In 2005, my mom died. She had cancer. She died. And one of the ways I found to kind of work through that grief is I would write. And so I had a MySpace page and I would post things to MySpace, blogs to MySpace. And I had a Zanga page and I would post to Zanga, and I had a live journal and I would post a live journal, and then Facebook came along and I started using Facebook and I would post notes on Facebook of blog stuff. And then I made on blogspot.com, a site that used to be around. I don't think it is anymore, but it was intentionally designed for blogs and those things. I had a blog. It was called afterthegames.blogspot.com. Doesn't exist because about 10 years ago, I deleted everything. I wiped it. I got rid of it. Just felt like I was not I just didn't like what I was writing about, and it became what I felt for me was a passive-aggressive way of confronting things that need to be confronted. On the flip side, I'm an internalizer, so there were a lot of things I just stopped dealing with and confronting. Not healthy either. But in about 2007, 2008, when I really was growing, like I was doing okay. Like I had a good sizable audience on my blogs. A lot of people would read my blogs. It was the coolest thing for me. My pastor at the time would do radio stuff, and I was listening to him on the radio on this local radio station, and he actually talked about he didn't say my name, but he talked about my blog. He made a specific, I knew it was mine because he said there's a young man in our church who has this blog, and he actually read my blog, and it was like, holy cow, this is amazing. And I was like, radio, So then there was this website called talkshoe.com. And so I started a podcast where I would like write down things that I would blog about. I turned it into podcast. And so I actually had podcast episodes of things that I would write about, blogs. I would turn them into, I would talk about them. And with TalkShoe, it was really more of like an online radio show platform, but people could call in to my number for TalkShoe, and I could have people as like guests on the radio show podcast. I turned it into a podcast. So then I was writing and I was podcasting at the same time. This was my OG content, guys. In 2007, 2008, my OG content was podcasting and blogging. And so I did it for a few years. And then in 2009, I discovered this website called Ustream.tv. And so then I started doing video podcasts because Ustream was it was like an OG live stream site. See, YouTube had been around I discovered YouTube in like 2006. And honestly, I originally discovered YouTube because I was looking for bootleg movies online. And the site called YouTube showed up, and it had everything and anything you could ever think of, want, or dream as far as every TV show. Like I binged everything. I binged all the Power Rangers from when I was younger. It was amazing, dude. And then YouTube got bought out by Google, and then they put all these laws in place, and copyright law was really enforced and reinforced and all that, whatever. Anyway, so my OG content is podcasting and video podcasting. And so I'm not really copying what anyone's doing. And I know it's like, but bro, I can't find any of your stuff online. But like, I enjoy it. I enjoy using my voice to encourage other people. So that's why we're starting the podcast back up. We'll do it like once a week. We'll record an episode. It'll go up on my YouTube channel, a day or two after, and we record. But the whole idea behind it is I really want it to be something interactive with chat. And so there'll be like, it'll start and, it'll just be me goofing around. So, hey, shout out to you guys for being here in chat tonight. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Podcasting is fun. I love podcasting, man. I think just the opportunity to engage in conversation and chat about, I'm going to start banning people in chat for using that. You know what? I'm going to start charging to use sound alerts. You're going to have to pay $50 to use sound alerts from now on. Gosh. The frick. Oh, you should do You should do a podcast, Austin. You should do a podcast. Oh, y'all think you're funny, huh? Hey, I need to be real with you guys, though. I need to have some real talk for a second. I need to have some real talk. There are a handful of you who have recurring subs, and I just need you to know, I'm gonna look you in the eye. I really appreciate it. Like, it means the world to me. Stinking rich people. Tonight's podcast number 1 is brought to you guys by my 8 current subscribers. So shout out to them. They're amazing. Had a podcast with my wife for a while. Currently do a podcast with my childhood friend Alex. Send me the link. I'd love to listen, man. I love podcasting. I love having conversation. I love chatting with people. I think that conversation is a lost art in this day and age. Oh my gosh, this is what it's gonna get it to you. I think conversation is a lost art this day and age, chat. Can I be real with you? I think people willing to engage in like actual conversation is a lost art. Nobody wants to just have actual, genuine, authentic conversation anymore. Everyone, I was talking to my wife about this today. I just, one of the things that I've been really challenged with lately, someone challenged me with it a few months ago. They said, you internalize everything. You need to just start saying whatever's on your mind and apologizing for it if it upsets people. She said, it was my therapist. She said, you withdraw and you withhold the things that you feel frustrated about. She said, but sometimes those things are what people need to hear. Sometimes those are things that you need to be corrected on. She said, sometimes people need to hear those things because that's how they get better. She said, you might be holding the answer to a problem, but you're not willing to say that. She said, you may tick people off with the things you say, and you may have to apologize. But she said, would you rather sit there frustrated because you didn't say something? Or would you rather have the satisfaction of knowing you said what needed to be said, and you may have hurt someone's feelings, but at the same time, you got it out of your system? And I've been thinking about this ever since then, because there have been a few times where I've kind of put my foot in my mouth. I've said things that I think just really cut people short. Your Dark Prince said, don't sugarcoat it, say it as it is. Facts. Pastor 420. If they get hurt, then they get hurt. And that's the thing, chat, is we tiptoe around so many things. We tiptoe. And honestly, COVID made it worse. Politics made it worse. I've never seen people so polarized than I have with Donald Trump in office and with COVID-19. I'm just going to be real. There are people that were really great friends of ours that we just don't spend nearly as much time with anymore because we had differences in opinions over politics and COVID. You do what you think is best for you to do. That's my input. Do your research. If you follow Jesus, pray, talk to God, read your Bible, do your research, get informed, go with your own personal convictions, your own personal desires, all that. Go, do what you think is best for you. You've got to take care of yourself the best way you know how. Do the research, grow in knowledge. The problem is, if there was a difference in opinion on politics or COVID-19 or whatever the crap it is, schooling, whatever, parenting, if there's a difference in opinion, we've lost the ability to disagree but get along. And I think in so many ways in life, because everything is such a knee-jerk, like, oh, you disagree, we can't chill. I think what happened, chat, is we've swung so far the pendulum in the other direction of just accepting everyone as it is. There's no middle ground anymore, but we're so far on the other side of the pendulum where it's like we're afraid to talk about things now because we just might tick someone off. And the result of that, there's a lot of surface level engagement now because we're afraid to step past that point of comfort into the uncomfortable, to the point where we might tick someone off. Whatever happened to agree to disagree? God tells us to love our neighbors, not to love your neighbors if they have the same opinion as you. Let's go. That's what I'm saying, man. We have lost the ability to love someone that we disagree with. And we do the whole, like, especially like as Christians, it's worse. I'm gonna be real, man. I'm a pastor. And like all this is stuff I deal with too. Because sometimes I'll find out someone has a different viewpoint from me and they might like sideline me, not sideline, like push me aside, kind of push me away. And I'll go, oh, they believe differently than me? Well, I got no time for them either. And I do the same thing. I'm admitting that here. I think we all need to admit it. But we've just lost the ability to disagree, but still love one another. Like, we tiptoe around everything. I'm 32 now, chat. And just over the last few months, there's just been some things in my own life. Like I'm carrying a lot right now. I'm just gonna be real. I'm under a lot of stress. I'm stressed. I feel overwhelmed. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I might even be feeling a little burnt out just in life. I mean, I'm 32. I've been married for 11 years. I got 4 kids. I got this house that always needs work. I got this full-time job that like more than full-time hours, That's just what I do. I keep adding more things onto my plate with streaming and content creation and all these things. And then I'm stressed about money and finances and all this stuff. And so I'm exhausted. And so what I've been trying to do in my life is take inventory of my own life and just say, what's the crap in my life that's draining me the most? And honestly, it's the emotional stuff that's draining me the most. It's carrying the weight of feeling like I have to tiptoe around so many. This is a challenge for me. I had lunch with Dark Prince, with George last week. We had lunch. Bro, we were out there for like, 4 hours, 3 hours, something like that, 3 hours, I think. Went to this ramen spot, best ramen I've had, Yitos in Tyson's Corner, kind of Vienna is technically whatever. Best ramen ever. We were just talking. One of the things I was telling him is like, man, as a pastor, I just feel this like weight. I'll come up with the housework. I love that, dude. I got some plumbing. I got some drywall. I got some painting. I got to take down a half wall and patch that up. I got some electric. I got so much, man. I need to make a list. I need to make a list with my wife. I need to update our list. But we're talking, and I said, I got to be real with you, man. Like I said, this is hard for me to be real because, like, I know as a pastor, the Bible is clear. Pastors, there are some higher expectations from the Bible on pastors. And I said, as a pastor, I'm a leader. People look up to me. I said, I work with young people, children. I work with youths. Holy cow. I work with young people. And so I have to be a good example. And I feel this pressure sometimes. I'm going to be real, chat. Sometimes I want to cuss. Sometimes I just get so pissed off playing a game that I just want to cuss. And I have to stop myself because I'm like, people look up to me. And there are things that if they came out of my mouth, I could lose my job because people would be so upset. Parents would be upset. They'd be like, how could you have someone leading our young people that talks like this? And I would say, bro, look, I tell the teenagers, man, if you're just so like frustrated and overwhelmed by life, you just need to yell, fuss, and cuss. Let's go do that. You yell, fuss, and cuss, just get it out, get the frustration out, and then we'll figure out some healthier ways. But I have to tell myself this too, because sometimes I gotta yell, fuss, and cuss. Because I'm just so frustrated by things. My car rides, my commutes lately have become a place of just I listen to a little bit of music. I maybe listen to podcasts, but really more than anything, like I drive in silence. I just talk with the Lord. People probably think I'm crazy. Like, who the heck is this guy talking to? And driving down the highway next to me. But I just been talking to God. And sometimes I'm gonna be real with you guys. There've been a few days lately where I've just been in a grumpy mood and I'm just yelling. I'm just like, God, what the crap? Been in a bad mood today. Woke up, it was payday. Went to sleep, woke up the next day, all the money's gone because we got bills. Chat, I just need you guys to know, man. It's frustrating, man. I get so uptight about things. I have conversations with people where they go, "You're a pastor, you can't do this or that." So this is why, chat. This is why, and I found this is great advice for anyone. My pastor challenged me back about 3 or 4 years ago. He said, you need to find people outside of the church to connect with. You need to find people outside of your immediate circle, people that are completely removed from the church that you can just be completely open with. He said, I'm happy to hear and listen. He said, but if you need to vent about me, you need to have someone you can go vent about. And he said, you and I both know that you have more integrity than to go venting someone in the church about me. And I said, absolutely, 100%. So, it turns out some of you guys have become that. George said, I told you something personal Thursday. I told you I don't care if you judge me, keep it real. That's what I'm saying, man. So chat. We just got to keep it real, man. We got to be willing to say the hard things, to say the things. You will tick someone off. That's just reality. Someone is going to get offended or upset by something you say. Wouldn't you rather just get it out? And this has been a challenge for me, dude. This has been something in my marriage, just being totally real. This has been a challenge in my marriage, the 11 years I've been married. Because it's hard for me when I am upset with my wife. It is challenging for me to tell my wife, I am upset with you. You are annoying me. I remember one time, it's about 4 or 5 years ago, my wife was frustrating me. And I said, you're really annoying me right now. I need some space. And she looked at me and she said, that is the best thing you've ever said to me. Because I was so straight up and clear and real with her. And that is a challenge for me. It's been I'm just going to be very real and raw with you, chat. And I'm sharing this to hopefully encourage you to really work on it if that's something you struggle with. But it is very hard. It has been a pain point in my marriage, especially over the last year. But can I be real with you guys, chat? The season that I'm in right now, personally and emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I really feel like God has been using this season to really unite my wife and I. Like I've never felt more connected to my wife than I have in the last few months. Like I just feel so connected with her. I feel so close with her, like emotionally and mentally, and it's amazing. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Part of the problem in my church was one of the board members knew me when I was young, couldn't separate my adult life to my childhood life. It was so hard to hear that, especially how well things were going in the ministry. Dude, I can relate to that to an extent. And am I allowed to say this? I don't care. Keep it real. Who am I going to tick off? There are people in my church that have known me since I was in high school, and I think that has been a challenge for me as a leader because some of these people have known me since I was in high school. And I've changed a lot, but there's still parts of it. I was a goofy teenager. And so like my pastor was my youth pastor. And so I do think that has been a challenge of mine. And in my relationships with some of the people I work with or minister to is I was the kid. It's crazy because I was the kid that some of these people were ministering to 15 years ago, but now I'm ministering to them as one of their pastors. And I think that has created challenges for me. Here's the bottom line, moral of the story. The bottom line is this, chat. The bottom line is this. Say the freaking thing. Say the freaking thing. That's the moral of the story. I love you guys. Hey, keep coming back. New podcast next week. Let's go.